Well, certainly we were disappointed in the way we played last weekend. I think especially in the first half. Uh, Came out in the second half and played a little better, but we dug ourselves quite a hole and weren't able to get out of the hole. This week will be a tremendous challenge. Uh, this might be as talented a team as we've played since I've been here. Uh, Defensively, they've got multiple first-round draft picks, and offensively, they've got a great deal of skill. Uh, I think their running backs and receivers are as good as anybody in the country. So, be a huge challenge.
Talking about their skills, they have a freshman quarterback who was highly recruited. Have you had a chance to look at him, and what kind of challenges does he present to the defense?
Yeah, I mean, he plays some. He's a very accurate thrower. He's probably not as much of a dual threat as Kelly is, but he's a really good player, very accurate, and throws a really nice ball.
Taquan said yesterday that it's probably the best defensive line you'll ever see in college football. Would you agree with that statement, and what challenges do they present?
Well, they're pretty good. I mean, they've probably got 3, maybe 4 first-round draft picks up there on the defensive line. So there won't be many teams that will ever have that. The challenge becomes just trying to find a way to block them or read them to get to the second level. But hopefully with the nature of what we do, we won't have to block all those guys, and maybe we'll be able to double some of them. You definitely want to stay out of third and long.
Last year, you guys, there seemed to be plays. It's one block here, one block there, and you moved the ball actually pretty well at times against them, considering kind of what's going on. Does that give you some sort of idea of what you might be able to have success with?
You always got a chance. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. But they're a really good team. We'll have to play better than we've played to this point. And if you do that and you execute, you've got a chance. I think the nature of what we do gives you a little bit of a chance, as opposed to have to line up in I formation and block all those guys, or pass block. They haven't given up very much, and like the Texas A&M game, when you watch, one was busted coverage and one was a deflection off another guy in the end zone that a guy in the end zone caught. And really the other touchdown they had probably should have been an interception. It went through the guy from Clemson's hands. So they haven't given up a whole lot.
With Mason and Howard, getting significant reps now, how are they doing with things other than carrying the ball?
Well, I think they struggled a little bit in the last game blocking, but they were very productive. They had, I guess, together about 190-some yards rushing out of the position. So that's a positive, and you would like to think as guys who haven't played much, they're going to get better the more they play. So, overall, I was pleased with them. Could they play better? Sure. I mean, we all could. We could coach better, play better. We could all have done better.
Said on the radio show last night, you were talking about Taquan's toughness, and I
Mhm.
forget exactly how you qualified it, but I think it was on like he's as tough a kid as you coach. Can you kind of go a little further into that, what you see out of him and how he demonstrates?
Well, he's
that?
very competitive, and he's a tough kid. I mean, you can't play on this level at 180 pounds and take the shots that he takes and do that without being a tough kid. And he loves to play the game. He doesn't shy away from anything. I wish he would shy away from more contact sometimes. He needs to step out of bounds or slide when we've talked to him about that. But, he played last week, and he probably wasn't 100% healthy, but he went out and played,
With Taquan and practice and how he throws, can you give me a sense of just what you see? I mean, like how consistent and effective he is when he's throwing the ball.
In practice?
In practice, right.
Yeah. I mean, he throws the ball well in practice. We start out – we probably do 2 periods, 10 minutes of throwing routes, and then we do one-on-one against the defense, and then we do probably 15-minute skelly, and then we do team. So he gets to throw the balls. We throw the ball a lot in practice. And he's like everybody. There's days that he's better than others, but I think he's a little more accurate than what we've seen early, and we'll see as it plays out. But you can't be afraid to throw the ball. He can throw the ball. It's just we just got to do it.
I'm writing a story about Daquan. Have you ever noticed?
Mhm.
How much better? Like, what do you need out of him for you guys to have a chance against Clemson?
Well, I think we just got to be consistent. You got to take care of the ball, and we got to play with some consistency. You're not going to beat a team as good as Clemson if you go out there and turn the ball over. And when you get a chance to make plays, we got to make them. I mean, we had 2 or 3 shots the other day that could have been home run plays, touchdowns, and we missed them. Some wasn't his fault. The first pass, we got knocked back on the right side, and he couldn't set his feet to throw it. The second one, we just need to make a play. It hit Brad in the hands, but it was been a really hard catch. A little better throw. That was a clean pocket. The one to Jalen in the third quarter, he could have made a little better throw, but we got to make that play. And if we go higher and run the route better, he's going to be all by himself. There was another third down play where we got stopped, where they turned a guy loose on a crossing route, and one of the linemen lost his guy, and the back had to pick him up, and he got sacked. So some of those plays, if you make 2 of those 5, it's a whole different game. And for us right now, we're not making many of them. And it's not Taquan. It's everybody.
In terms of the success you've had against Clemson offensively, it seems like it's been more of the kind of bread and butter, up the middle, using the B-backs, that kind of thing. Is that maybe something that you can exploit with the two young guys you have now in terms of attacking them?
They're going to probably determine who has the ball with what we do. And, up there a year ago, we played really poorly in the first half again. The conditions were rough. And, I think the first series we fumbled the ball. And that's the stuff you can't do. We just got to execute our stuff. We got a system. You turn on the tape, and the kids can watch it. They turn on the tape. They understand. They know. We can see when we turn it on why it's not working and why it is, So we just got to do better.
It seems like in some ways you can see the pieces of the team being better than certainly a year ago in a lot of phases. And it just, with the 2 road wins, you couldn't win. Do you feel like there's like a lot of potential still here for this team?
I think this team still has a chance to be pretty good. It's like we've played 3 games. And we knew going in that we had a very tough schedule. I think it was rated 2nd or 3rd in the country. And we've dug ourselves a hole, just like we dug ourselves a hole in the last game. We've dug ourselves a hole because, my opinion, I think we should have won the last 2 games. Now, if you ask Charlie or Pat, they would tell you they think they should have won the game, and they did. But we didn't get it done. For whatever reason, we didn't do enough to win the game. Now, we still got 9 games left. So, we still got a chance. It's like, but you got to go one game at a time. You don't give up. You just keep plugging. And like I told our team this week, our challenge this week is to get better and get consistent and play better. And then we'll see what happens with the result. But that's all you can do. You look. Not very many people have had a lot of success against Clemson in the last 3 or 4 years.
Brent Venables, just I guess as a play caller in terms of getting his guys ready, how would you assess or evaluate? No, obviously, we've made a lot about Bud Foster and the kind of the back and forth you've had with him, but and I think it's easy to say, oh well, Clemson, they've got all these all-stars, it's easy for him to play, which is true, but I'm curious just from the play calling standpoint.
They do a good job. You can't win as many games and be as good as they are without having a plan, and they adjust fairly rapidly. I mean, if you find something that's giving them a problem, they can adjust, and they create a ton of negative plays and sacks. And when you do that, you can play pretty good defense. It's like I said, I mean, if you watch their games, when you break down the Georgia Southern game, I think that at one point Georgia Southern had run 30 plays for 39 yards. They had 1 first down in the first half. You know, the Furman game wasn't much different. Texas A&M hit some plays. They matched up a little better, and they hit a few plays. But it was, again, like I said, it's hard to put together consistent plays without them getting a sack or a negative play or something to get you behind the chains. Got to be able to protect your quarterback if you're going to play them, because they're going to come after him.